And actually, I touched on this earlier that when I was at Sikorsky, I had a sketch or like a notebook, and I would just throw notes in the back and little sketches and stuff. All my ideas or things that I saw at Sikorsky that I was like, get some inspiration, or I think that's crazy, and wanted to come up with some solution to it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'd write and draw all that stuff in the back. At some point, I realized like I'm just doing all this random stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile it all in a Google Doc, and not all of it. I mean, like each individual idea. Mm-hmm. So like one idea was The Believer. This was based on a conversation with a guy at the factory. It was a very smart guy. When you meet people who are competent and on the level, they're like,
sure,
they're tracking. One of these guys. But at the factory, we had to have safety goggles or safety glasses on and stuff. And with his corrective lenses and stuff, they were super thick. So he had like the big,
the Coke
bottle
lenses. Yeah.
And one night, we're on second shift, he starts talking to me about how, like, we're gonna have to go in the ocean, and like we're gonna have to mix our genes with dolphins and live in the ocean.
And he was serious.
I don't know, but I'm just like, I'm looking at this otherwise smart guy with Coke bottle glasses talking about like mixing genes with dolphins, and I'm like, this is awesome. This needs to be a story.
Okay.
So, and then there were a handful of other things at work, that
scattered ideas here and there, little inspirations you've had.
Right. So then I would like do all my sketches for that.
Yeah.
And like my write up on just like, okay, what is the thing that I just told you? Let me just write that out. And then let me write out every other thought on this. And what ended up happening is I had a list of documents, and I could see like, oh, that's just barely a spark of an idea. Like I could only write like 3 sentences.
Right.
So in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do that someday. And then when you put it on paper and you realize there's really not much there,
Right.
And then other ideas, it's like, actually, the content's just flowing, so this has more potential. And that's what I did. I started separating my ideas out like that. And Fantastic Tanks kind of rose to the top as the one that like people responded to really well. I could see how like I wanted to make sculptures out of that, and then I wanted to like learn 3D printing. I'm like, well, I already have this concept, and so
gave you a roadmap.
Yeah. So there's like a dozen ideas or more, but like at this point, trying to get to fewer fires in the iron, so that irons in the fire, so that I can actually do those well. So there's contract work, which takes up most of my time, and then the 2 main projects are Fantastic Tanks and Art Skirmish.